Hey everyone, Charting Man Dan from ChartGuys.com. You know, behind every single video that we put out every single day, there's a wonderful community of traders that we want to invite you to be a part of. Try the free 7-day trial and gain access to our live market broadcasts every morning and afternoon, interact with hundreds of like-minded traders, or take part in one of our dedicated chat rooms, each led by an analyst that's there to answer your questions in real time. Our trial is risk-free with absolutely no commitment or credit card required to experience the TCG community. For those looking for a head start in technical analysis, check out our entries and exits course in the link below in the description. Get up to speed with the fundamentals of TCG technical analysis and experience over 5 hours of great community-driven trading education. Everyone looking at gold, the miners, silver on the daily and weekly time frame. So we'll start it off with gold. The bulls showing up today, holding the low. We have a bit of a double bottom the past 2 days, 1245.95 and 1246. So the bulls defending that level. It was an inside bar on the daily time frame today, showing that tightening range. And the bulls pretty pleased with how today went, considering we closed at the low of yesterday. The bears had all that momentum to the downside, and the bulls showed up and said, not so fast. So looking at the hourly time frame and drawing a bit more. Well, we actually was going to draw a downtrend resistance line, but because of this little uptrend here, that there is no clear downtrend resistance point to be drawing it off of yet at this point, but we have a nice uptrend line to be watching, and resistance, we can put it at the top of the move that we have seen. And that's currently the pattern that we're watching. We'll see if the bulls can keep this little uptrend going. And also watching the inverse correlation. Even though the market was bullish today, the bulls did show up here in gold. So that was a little bit of a break in the normal correlation where it's an inverse relationship between market strength and gold. Things being shaken up a little bit after the big dump day on Wednesday in the market and watching how things settle down from there. So we'll see if the bulls can hold this pattern on Monday. We can see GDX has a really tight range today with an inside bar. So we're watching that range. We're closer to the low than we are to the high. 2281 support, 2301 resistance. Bulls trying to recover, but right now not really seeing much momentum. And the weekly time frame is not really strong either. We had our solid bullish reversal follow through off of the 200-week moving average support, but then we rejected from the middle Bollinger Band this week and closed with an upper wick of profit taking with a decent amount of weakness there on the weekly time frame. So not entirely strong at this point. And watching, we could have a downtrend resistance line here as well, where we've got our lower high pattern that the bulls are trying to overcome, and we didn't even touch that downtrend resistance line this week. So the bear miners still having control, even though we did see a short-term bounce. And we look at the junior miners, and we broke the low of yesterday by 1 penny. So yet another example where the junior miners are slightly weaker than the senior miners, and it is not an inside bar, and we did get that lower low. So looking at the weekly time frame, same thing, a lack of follow-through, a lack of conviction by those bulls, and we can draw a similar downtrend resistance line, but it's going to be steeper here on these junior miners, and we did reject from that downtrend resistance line at the high of this week. So the bears seeing control, short-term bounce at this point, and you can see it's with lower highs and lower lows for the past 3 months here on these miners, and this is likely just another lower high. We'll see if the bulls can pull back, form a higher low compared to the recent low, and then try and change this trend. But as of right now, bulls don't have enough momentum. So checking in on silver, silver saw a bounce play out as well, and it was a more oversold bounce. The RSI on the daily was coming off of 20, whereas gold's RSI was coming off of 30. We have an inside bar on silver on the daily time frame as well. Nice recovery by those bulls. They were stronger than gold here today, although that has not been the case recently. But let's just compare these daily charts again. We've got gold not really up close towards the high of yesterday. We've got 1265 and 1256. And we check out silver. Silver is right up near there at 1694, and we got up to 1686. So we'll see if the bulls can get follow through and continue this momentum and break to a higher high. So we had a bounce straight off the lows. Anytime you see a bounce straight off the lows, you know the bounce isn't going to last too long, because we have to consolidate, form a higher low and then a higher high in order for the bounce to have momentum when we're coming out of a downtrend. So we're playing against the trend. It's just an oversold bounce at that point. Have to form our higher low and then our higher high to gain momentum and have it be more of a longer term potential bull play. So gold, same scenario, but gold has an uptrend where we have our higher low here. So just more comparisons between the two. Gold has this uptrend here where we form that higher low, and silver doesn't have that because we had an all-out dump and broke that level to hit a lower low. So USLV had a nice oversold bounce. We were looking for a 10% move from the lows, and we certainly got that. The low was 1096, so we'll call it 11. We got a $2 move. So that's about an 18% move to the upside. We then consolidated. Now our new base of support is 1166, so it's the same thing. When we're coming straight off the low, we're not just going to go straight up and change the trend. We have to pull back, form a higher low, and then see a higher high in order to believe that the bulls have some sustainable momentum there. So it's all about the correlation for gold, the metals, and the market. And I am anticipating the market to pull back a little bit. We've bounced for 2 days now in the market after the Wednesday dump. So if the market does pull back and consolidate from its bounce, we will look for these precious metal bulls to show up again and test their recent highs. And we'll look for the bull miners to do the same. So I appreciate you watching. We'll check back in throughout the week, and I hope you have a great rest of your weekend.